Hello guys, it's Teenage Marvel Fan, back with another video. And in this video I will be doing a review for an episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And this episode was titled Leap. And the title of this episode actually factors into a major part that happens in this episode. So, coming out of last week's very violent cliffhanger, everyone is trying to figure out what happened. Fitz, he hasn't previously encountered Sarge, but now he has to deal with a bloodied, bullet-riddled body lying on an operating table that looks exactly like Coulson, and this version of Fitz didn't even see the real Coulson die. But everyone else wants to know why May did it. But once they put her in a holding cell, she can't remember anything. Then she remembers leaving the party because she was tired, and nothing until she came into the holding cell. At the same time in the medical lab, Simmons is astonished to discover that Sarge's fatal wounds have already healed completely. Like, he was shot like 4 times, like once in the face and then 3 times in the chest, I think. And, you know, normal people, they'd be dead after that. But not Sarge. No, he's a tough cookie. But after several tension-building minutes, we start to figure out what's happening. Izel apparently possesses the ability to jump between bodies, I guess. And that's how she survived Jocko's kamikaze nuke attack on her ship, because she jumped into Davis's body and smuggled herself out through him. That's also why Davis was like, it looked like he fell asleep at the party and he was just zoned out. And then because he had a whole alien woman inside of him. And then the last thing that May remembers from the previous night is leaving the party and bumping into Davis on her way to her quarters. That's when, of course, Izel jumped into her body and used her to shoot her biggest enemy, which was Sarge. Except, are Izel and Sarge really enemies? Because they're apparently all figuring this out at the same time that we viewers were. And it's Fitz, of course, who helps point us in the right direction. Because he doesn't remember the whole fear dimension thing from last year's 100th episode. Because this Fitz was in the cryosleep. But he has an outside perspective on it. He knows that Izel wants the monoliths, and that she thinks they have the power of creation. He knows that 2 of the monoliths can control space and time, respectively, and he's heard the story about material visions emerging from the fear dimension. Like, that's when Deke saw his mother, and Coulson saw Deathlock, and then, the visions were created by the 3 monoliths, and they were all exploding at once. So, here's his theory. If 2 of the monoliths had power over space and time, then the 3rd must have had creative powers. But is it just me, or are these monoliths starting to sound suspiciously like the Infinity Stones? Because there's space, time, and creativity for these monoliths. And then for the Infinity Stones, there's space, time, soul, mind, power, and reality. That's 2 of the Infinity Stones right there. But here's what Fitz concludes. When Coulson stepped into the fear dimension to seal it up with gravitonium, he stepped into some kind of incorporeal protein realm. And the creative element of that monolith mush created a person in his image and then sent it off in space and time to materialize on some other planet many, many years ago. And that's Sarge. That's right. Sarge is basically Coulson. He's like a split personality of Coulson. Coulson got like split up, and then Sarge got sent back in time, I guess. But Sarge doesn't know this yet. But once they figured out that Izel can body jump, Mac tries locking down the lighthouse so she can't escape. But the power to control people without harming yourself is quite a potent one. And first she steps into Piper's body and makes her shoot herself through the hand. when I saw that happen, I didn't think the trigger was actually going to get pulled. But no, now she's got a bullet hole right through the middle of her hand, giant hole there. And then, to prove she was really serious, she possessed Davis long enough so that she could climb up on the top of a balcony thing and leap off from a high, and it was a high enough point for him to die from the fall. And that would be the meaning of the episode's title, Leap. So yeah, Davis is dead. I kind of saw this coming, and it's unfortunate because he's a pretty cool character. Wasn't in the show very much, but when he was, he was cool. But now he's dead. So that's sad. And after that, Izel takes Mac as a hostage and makes her way to the room where they keep the gravitonium containing the monolith energy. Sarge escapes from Simmons' infirmary and makes it there around the same time. Then he unloads a clip of bullets into her, but they have pretty much no effect. Like, he shoots her a bunch of times, and it's like nothing happens. Then Izel explains what she's figured out. Sarge is like her. They both hail from the same incorporeal dimension. When Coulson stepped through, Sarge's spirit took his form to escape. Sometime later, Izel followed his suit. He hasn't been hunting Izel to destroy her. He's been pursuing her out of longing. Sarge, is Pakati, something like that. But basically, he's the Shrike God. So that's crazy. And for now, Sarge is not ready for a 180 turn. Because he refuses to join Izel, and she walks out of the room to be greeted by Mac, Yo-Yo, and Daisy. Izel jumps into Yo-Yo's body and threatens to use her super speed to kill anyone that gets near her. So Mac lets her leave. In fact, he even accompanies her onto the plane, both as a hostage and to keep an eye on Yo-Yo's body. Because remember, they're in love again, so he loves her. And then, as May explains to Daisy afterward, Mac's trusting his team to figure out a solution without him. And a whole dimension of incorporeal beings? I don't know. Things are getting a little too abstract here compared to the emotional stakes of Mac's leadership competition with Sarge and Sarge's all-or-nothing approach to hunting the Shrike that has dominated the last few weeks, but we'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below. What did you think of this episode? Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next video so I can bestow all the Marvel knowledge upon you.